This is a game changer for Arsenal. No doubt about it in my mind. One of the best done deals, one of the best transfers we will see into the Premier League all summer. No doubt. Not one. Forget the hype. We all know why people are playing this deal down, because nobody expected Martin Zubimendi to join Arsenal. We're going to talk about that. We're looking at the renewal of Miles Lewis-Skelly's contract and why that is so important, and it shouldn't be understated by Arsenal fans. There is a fair amount of negativity currently circling around the Emirates Stadium. I know the standards are high. I know the fans want to win this year. They're looking at Liverpool, the defending champions, having an amazing summer. I won't play that down. It's sobering for each and every single one of us. But I do think that Arsenal fans have got a lot of call for optimism here. Make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribing. Now, for me, when I think about Martin Zubimendi, the first word that pops into my head, well, it's two, I suppose, with a little hyphen, and that's game changer. It's massive. I know Zubimendi is potentially on his way out. Sorry, I know Thomas Partey is potentially on his way out for Arsenal. That means another bit of work. They've got to find a replacement. But here's the hot take of the video. I don't think this is a massive problem for Arsenal Football Club. I know he was brilliant last season, but the man has spent hundreds of days in the previous 2 to 3 seasons out injured. He's 32. He wanted a long extension. He wanted a fairly sizable pay increase. You know the way Murphy's Law works. You know how the football gods operate in those scenarios. You can bet your bottom dollar. If Arsenal go, there's a new 3-year deal. There's an extra £30,000 a week. You know he's spending half the season out injured, right? You know then Arteta and Berta and everything to do with Arsenal is going to be ridiculed. Oh my God, Arsenal are so stupid. Why would you ever give an old man that kind of contract, etc., 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 etc.? That is exactly what would happen. And you all know it. Every single one of you there, you're laughing. You're sitting there going, yeah, it's true. Thomas Partey leaving isn't the end of the world. That's first and foremost. But let's look at Zubimendi for a moment. Game changer. The age profile is the first element that I would focus on if I was an Arsenal fan. 26 years of age, turning 27 in the February or the March in 2026. Experienced. He's a winner at international level. He's got technical ability for days. I keep hearing people talk about him like this is how you know as well, by the way, there's an agenda. Oh, he's 5'8" though. He's 5'8". What's he going to do? I don't believe that's true. In fact, let's search that again now. Let's search Zubimendi's height in feet. He's 1.81 inches. Sorry, centimeters. 1.81. So 181 centimeters. I'm 179 centimeters tall. And I'm not 5'8". There's so many lies being discussed. He's actually about 1.5 inches taller than Jorginho, who never got called short. So he's not a unit. He's not an absolute mammoth of a man, but he isn't this puny, short, skinny, unathletic player that he is being discussed as. He plays regularly for this Spain team, which is the best Spanish team we've seen probably in the last sort of 15 or so, well, not quite 15 years. You go back to that brilliant team in 2010, but they had like a period where they fell off. It's one of the best Spanish teams I've seen in my lifetime, though. Not going to be as good as the sort of 06 to kind of 2012, 2014 Spain team, but a fantastic one nevertheless. He's an important part. We saw when he came on against England at the Euros, there was almost this celebration of, yes, Rodrigo's gone off. We've got a chance. Zubimendi came on and run the show just as well. Everything I'm saying, by the way, about Zubimendi, his brilliance, his quality, the levels he can take a team up, his ability to control a game. And I praised Lee Gunner for this yesterday, and I'll say it again because I don't want to plagiarise him, but he was spot on. He can slow a game down wonderfully. He can speed it up at the right time as well. I was saying all these things and Liverpool thought they had him. My mind hasn't changed. So you'll get the people that will say, stop praising Arsenal. They don't deserve it. I've got to praise this signing. Phenomenal. Going to be an excellent deal. And I know the hype's kind of died down because you knew it was happening in January. But don't understate the brilliance that this signing could give you. Lewis Skelly, I want to move on to him because we touched on this on the Football Terrace. And I want to say it again. We're seeing at the moment players putting in very reasonable buyout clauses. We're seeing lots of players at the moment get gentlemen's agreements to leave for well below market value or even their buyout clause value. And we're seeing many a player now run down their contracts. Mbappe has kind of made this a very fashionable thing to do. Trent has done it. Konate might be doing it. And you're going to see more examples of this moving forward. Tying Lewis Skelly down, a player that, listen, he only gets a dog's abuse because he's a brilliant academy player from Arsenal. If it was multiple other clubs, probably barring Manchester United, he'd be getting praised everywhere. But this man has had an amazing debut season. Arsenal getting him tied down, I think, is a significant statement from the player and from the club. And again, it's a deal that Arsenal fans should be happy with. When you look at the turmoil that Trent leaving caused Liverpool fans, even on the backdrop of a brilliant summer, they still hate the guy. There's still no forgiving him. Even though they've ended up with Frimpong, they've ended up with all these players, they're still frustrated. So whether Arsenal win the league or not, if they don't tie down these deals and Lewis Skelly's of this world are leaving on a free to join massive clubs, that's going to irk at you. Whether you're champions or not, whether you're signing brilliant players, you've got to look at that example. It would frustrate you. You've got to be happy with that and praise your club for it. I look at the other situations going on with Arsenal. Leading the race for both Šeško, a fantastic centre-forward, and Gyökeres, the man for me, is basically saying, until you pull the plug, I'm going to wait until deadline day. I want you. Arsenal have got themselves into that position. Not something to scoff at, in my personal opinion. The way Berta's negotiating those deals, both at the same time, as they're doing their due diligence, as they're working out. And I think sometimes the negotiation process will show you the dedication of a player, their mentality, can I handle the pressure? And all the noise we're hearing is the better of the two in Gyökeres. Give me the number 9 shirt. I can handle the pressure. I'll wait until the end of the window because you are where I want to be. Where the stories coming out about Šeško are, can I have a release clause? Okay, I'm a bit nervous about joining because I might be behind Kai Havertz to begin with. Can I oust him? I think they're discovering elements about these players in that process as well. Rodrigo, seemingly now the number one target for the left-hand side. It's ambitious to say the least, but typically speaking, the ambitious moves take time to get done. Yes, people will say, well, Wirtz got done quickly. It was already kind of verbally agreed by Bayer Leverkusen they would let him go. They also saw Frimpong leave. The manager left. It's a bit of an exodus. Tar left. There's an exodus going on there. You've got to look at that scenario. Secondly, the only reason that deal got done quickly is because two clubs in Bayern and City wanted him for the World Club Cup. Liverpool had to act quickly, so it got done sooner rather than later. Bayer Leverkusen would have loved to have dragged that out over the summer, created a bidding war, and got even more money. Real Madrid will do the same thing here with Rodrigo. They're going to try and convince him to stay as his first point of call. He wants to play for them, but he wants to be given the right type of game time. If that doesn't work out, Arsenal will pounce. They are taking a slight gamble here, but it's a deal that Arsenal fans want, but it's a deal that isn't attainable unless they pay well above the odds quickly. It's not attainable quickly without paying over the odds, and that would be crazy. I don't necessarily think Arsenal are having an horrendous summer, but I do get the pressures, the frustrations, and the annoyance that Arsenal fans are going through. It reminds me very much of the 21-22 season, where they signed the Ben Whites, Odegaard, Ramsdale's, Tomiyasu's, Lokonga, I think was a player that summer. And it was seen as an absolutely dreadful summer. And they didn't start the campaign too well. I think they actually lost to Brentford opening day of the season. But they grew that season and narrowly missed out on Champions League right at the end. But there was a significant improvement in how the team played. The following summer, again, there was a lot of people not impressed with Jesus's and Vieiras and Zinchenko's. They pushed for the league title. The following year was much better with the likes of Declan Rice. But they have had some very good summers of late. Maybe not very good on paper, where everyone's gone, look at that, they're going to go and kill it. But you don't win the transfer window on paper. It's about how those players perform in reality. There's a long way to go still. I get the pressures, but I just can't sit here and understate the brilliance of this deal for Mendy, the fantastic renewal of Miles Lewis Skelly. But as ever, I want your views. I'd love your opinions in the comment section below. Until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless, and I'll see you all soon. Peace!